Hi, I'm Kelly from the Plant-Based Kitchen. So today we're going to be focusing on beans, so fresh beans. So I've got green beans here, and then I also have sugar snap peas here. So sugar snap peas usually come in these little plastic bins, or they come in the plastic bags. So what I end up doing is, because they don't really store well and they end up getting kind of mushy and sometimes slimy, so if I'm going to use them right away, then what I'll do is I'll take them out and I'll store them in like in a bowl or something, a glass bowl, and I'll just put them out that way, and I'll put them on the countertop, and then I'll use them that night or the next day. You don't want to store them really outside a bowl or outside the refrigerator and stuff for very long. So to store them inside the refrigerator to keep them actually fresher, put them in a brown paper bag, and then write sugar snap peas on the outside so you know what they are, especially if you're doing a couple different types of beans. And then you can store those up to a week in the refrigerator in the brown paper bag, which is really nice. So those are to the side. So green beans, when you're going to the green beans and you've got, they've got the great big huge kind of bin that's at your grocery stores, you want to move all the green beans off to the sides, and you want to get to the small ones at the bottom. The reason why is the small ones are the freshest ones, and they're not, and sometimes like if you get them, like they're really, let's find one that's, like this one's really big, and this is like, it's hard to find because there wasn't that many green beans in the store. You find these big ones, and sometimes even though you cook them quite a bit, they tend to be chewy. I love green beans. This is probably one of my favorite snacks. I will actually steam them up and maybe a little salt and pepper, some garlic salt, or put some tomatoes with them. But a lot of times and stuff, I'll just steam them and then put them in a plastic bag and I take them to work. I eat them cold and I also eat them hot, so it depends on what I want to do. But these are one of my favorite snacks. And you can eat a lot of these in a small setting. So to know that they're fresh, so when you're standing there in the store, you will grab the green beans, and a lot of times like this one, this is a great idea. So when you're trying to snap it at the store, this means keep it back at the store. Do not take it home with you. So doesn't bend, just bends all over the place, doesn't snap. When you get another one like this and you test it, if it snaps just like that, that means your green beans are fresh. Those are the ones that you want to buy. So try a little bit of that, because sometimes when it's middle of the winter, you'll get green beans and you'll try them and then you'll bring them home and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm craving green beans. And it sounds wonderful with whatever I'm going to make. And you put them in there and you steam them up and they're hard as rocks. They're like chewy nastiness. So that's what I always say, is always check it and make sure that you get that nice, crisp snap like that. Okay, to trim them. So green beans are pretty easy to trim. You've seen my grandmother used to sit there and she'd sit on the porch and stuff, and she would just take basically her fingernails and she would snap off the ends, both ends. You do that. That's great if you have some time, you're sitting in front of the TV, you want to relax. If you don't have the time, what you do is you line up a whole bunch of beans, you line up the edges, and then you just take a nice sharp knife, turn it around, line up your edges again, sharp knife, cut off the ends, and then you're ready to go. Then your green beans are all ready to go. If you want to have French green beans, which are wonderful. So what you do is you just kind of let your bean roll just a little bit to where it gets to the flat, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take a sharp paring knife, or just any kind of sharp knife that you have, and then you're going to run it right down the bean. So you'll notice that this one, so you've got these little pieces, so the little beans on the inside and stuff are going to come out, and like this one, maybe it's a little too thick, so just feel free to come over to the other side and add just a nice little slice there. And then you can steam those up. So you've got all these fresh green beans versus the canned green beans, less sodium, and then they're French, which they're really nice to eat, especially if you're using doing some kind of a fancy meal. You could also cut them up in little tiny pieces and put it in stir fries, all kinds of different things. So that's a quick, easy way to have beans. So to retain color after cooking, so you've steaming these up or boiling these, they're really good. This is where, so we talked about with asparagus that you don't want to put it in the cold water because it loses its flavor. So you don't want to shock it. Green beans you do. So cook them up a little bit and get where they're tender. So maybe just the tip of the knife goes through just the right tenderness that you want. Then once that's ready to go, then you pull these out. Have a big bowl of ice water and stuff next to it. Throw your green beans in there, shock them, and then pull them out. That way what will end up happening, instead of having this really dark color or kind of a light color, you'll have this nice vivid green color. All right, so join me next time for more tips and tricks that are up and coming. I'll talk to you soon and have a great day. Bye-bye.